Hello, jewels of inestimable value. The greatest minds are rarely understood, and that's exactly how they like it. Sigma females live by their own rules, unapologetically defying societal norms and questioning everything that doesn't align with their unshakable principles. To them, the world is a bizarre playground where people chase empty validation, bend their values to fit in, and waste time on nonsense that makes no real sense. While most people get lost in the noise, Sigma females cut through the superficiality like a knife, leaving everyone else scrambling to keep up. These women are wired differently, and the things that society obsesses over often strike them as utterly ridiculous. If you've ever wondered what truly baffles the mind of a Sigma female, get ready, because her perspective is about to shatter everything you thought made sense. Number 1. Trying to impress strangers. Sigma females have zero interest in playing the game of impressing strangers. They see right through the exhausting charade most people put on, dressing to the nines, curating their social media to perfection, and spitting out compliments they don't even mean just to win the approval of someone they'll probably never see again. To a Sigma, this whole spectacle is nothing but a giant waste of energy. She's not about to burn herself out for a crowd that doesn't matter. If you think she's going to jump through hoops just to get a nod from people who couldn't care less about her struggles, you've got another thing coming. She's got no time for applause from strangers in the cheap seats. While everyone else is busy trying to be the most liked, most followed, or most admired, she's over here living life on her terms, unbothered and uninterested in anyone who can't see her worth without all the extra fluff. She knows that trying to impress random people is like trying to fill a bottomless pit. It's exhausting, never-ending, and ultimately pointless. So while everyone else is chasing after likes and validation, she's keeping it real, making moves that actually matter, and saving her energy for those who genuinely see and appreciate her for who she is. Number 2. Being misjudged as boring because of quietness. People love to label Sigma females as boring just because they aren't the loudest ones in the room, and it's one of the most misguided assumptions out there. It's almost laughable how society equates quietness with dullness, as if the only way to be interesting is to be obnoxiously loud or constantly grabbing attention. For a Sigma, this couldn't be further from the truth. She's not here to perform or entertain. She's busy observing, thinking, and calculating in ways that most people can't even comprehend. While others are yapping away, desperate to fill the silence, she's silently dissecting the room, figuring out what really makes people tick. And trust, she's seeing a lot more than anyone gives her credit for. People mistake her quiet for empty, but it's more like an iceberg situation. What you see on the surface is just a fraction of what's really going on underneath. Her mind is a labyrinth of thoughts, ideas, and plans that would leave most people's heads spinning. She doesn't need to blurt out every random thought just to feel heard, and she's not interested in small talk that goes nowhere. To her, words are valuable, and she's not about to waste them just to avoid awkward silences. Those who think she's boring simply because she's not shouting her personality from the rooftops are missing the point entirely. Her quiet is her power, and those who are smart enough to stick around and actually listen might just find themselves completely captivated. Number 3. Going back to an ex. Going back to an ex. That's a plot twist a Sigma female has no interest in. To her, it's like reopening a book she's already read, one with a predictable, disappointing ending she's not about to revisit. While some people are out here romanticizing the idea of second chances, she's fully aware that most exes are exes for a reason, and no amount of nostalgia or what-ifs will change that. Sigma females don't have the patience for recycled relationships, and the idea of giving it another go with someone who already failed the first time around is a straight-up waste of her time. She's all about growth, evolution, and forward momentum, and going backward doesn't fit into that equation. She's learned the lessons, felt the feelings, and filed that chapter away in the been there, done that folder. The emotional roller coaster of revisiting old flames isn't thrilling to her, it's exhausting and downright unnecessary. She's not here for the reruns when she could be exploring new and uncharted territory. And truth be told, once a Sigma female has moved on, she's like a train on a one-way track. You can wave from the platform, but there's no getting back on board. Number 4. Recording live events on your phone. Recording live events on your phone is one of those things that make a Sigma female roll her eyes. She doesn't get the obsession with watching life through a tiny screen, especially when the real thing is happening right in front of you. To her, it's bizarre how people spend more time trying to capture the perfect angle or worrying about getting enough likes than actually enjoying the moment. Sigma females are too busy soaking in the experience to bother with shaky videos that no one's going to watch twice, or at all for that matter. She knows that no camera can truly capture the magic of being there, so why bother? While everyone else is missing the moment by fumbling with their phones, she's fully present, savoring every second like it's a private concert just for her. She doesn't need a digital scrapbook to prove she was there, and she certainly doesn't need validation from people who didn't bother to show up. In her world, the memory of the moment is worth more than any footage could ever be, and she's not about to trade that for a pixelated replay that never does it justice. At number 5, prioritizing quantity over quality in relationships. Sigma females have a strict no-nonsense policy when it comes to relationships, and that means quality over quantity every single time. She's not impressed by having a million acquaintances, a crowded social calendar, or endless chats that lead nowhere. To her, it's all about depth. She doesn't want surface-level connections that fizzle out when things get real. She wants the kind of bonds that can weather a storm. A handful of ride-or-die friends who actually understand her beats a crowd of fair-weather people who only stick around when it's convenient. While others are busy collecting friends like their Pokemon cards, she's curating her circle with precision. She's not interested in the drama, the fakeness, or the people who only come around when they need something. For a Sigma female, relationships are about genuine connection, not just filling space. She craves meaningful conversations, shared values, and people who actually get her. Those rare individuals who don't just see her but understand her silence, her quirks, and her unspoken thoughts. So, while everyone else is networking and schmoozing, she's keeping her circle small, tight, and authentic. Because for her, one real friend is worth more than 100 superficial ones. Number 6. Fearing judgment from strangers. A Sigma female couldn't care less about the judgment of strangers. The thought of altering herself to suit the opinions of people she'll probably never cross paths with again? That's a hard pass. She's seen the way most folks bend themselves into pretzels, desperate to avoid side eyes and whispers from people who don't even know their middle names. But a Sigma doesn't buy into that game. She knows that everyone's got something to say, but that doesn't make those opinions worth listening to. She's not losing sleep over what the random woman at the coffee shop thinks of her outfit, and she's certainly not stressing about whether her life choices meet some imaginary standard set by people she wouldn't even invite to her table. Fearing judgment from strangers feels like worrying about a weather forecast from last year, pointless and irrelevant. She's living by her own compass, unapologetically making moves that feel right to her, regardless of who's watching. And if her authenticity ruffles a few feathers along the way, that's just a bonus. To her, the real win is walking through life without the chains of public opinion weighing her down. Number 7. Overcomplicating simple tasks. Sigma females have zero patience for overcomplicating simple tasks. To them, life is already complex enough without people turning basic stuff into a 5-step circus act. Watching someone take a simple decision and stretch it into a drawn-out saga is like nails on a chalkboard. A Sigma doesn't need a 20-minute debate to pick a restaurant or a committee meeting to decide what color to paint a room. She's all about efficiency. Get in, get it done, and move on. No fuss, no drama, no endless back and forth over things that don't deserve more than a quick thought. She's got a talent for cutting through the nonsense and finding the shortest path to a solution, and the idea of overthinking a simple problem feels like running a marathon to get to the fridge. While everyone else is spiraling into analysis paralysis, she's already finished, moving on to the next thing like it's no big deal. Her motto is simple: don't turn a 2-minute task into a 2-hour ordeal. Life's too short to get tangled up in unnecessary complications, and a Sigma knows that better than anyone. Number 8. Compromising personal values for social acceptance. Compromising personal values for social acceptance? Yeah, that's never going to fly with a Sigma female. She doesn't wake up in the morning thinking about how to fit into some cookie-cutter mold just to make other people comfortable. She's built her life around principles that actually mean something to her, and no amount of peer pressure or side-eye glances is going to make her change course. While most people are busy editing themselves to fit in, saying yes when they really mean no, and biting their tongue just to keep the peace, a Sigma stands firm, unapologetically herself. She's not here to play the chameleon, blending in just because it's easier. She's fully aware that being authentic might ruffle some feathers or make her the odd one out, but that's a price she's more than willing to pay. She'd rather be the lone wolf marching to her own beat than a sheep in the herd, sacrificing her beliefs for a moment of fleeting approval. Social acceptance that comes at the cost of self-respect is a deal she'll never make, and she's perfectly fine with that. If fitting in means watering herself down, she'd rather stay misunderstood and true to herself, because nothing feels worse to a Sigma than betraying her own values just to get a nod from people who don't matter. Number 9. Chasing material success at the expense of personal happiness. Chasing material success at the expense of personal happiness is a game a Sigma female has no interest in playing. To her, the endless pursuit of bigger houses, fancier cars, and more status symbols is like running on a treadmill set to never-ending. She sees right through the shiny veneer of materialism and knows that true contentment can't be bought, while others are drowning in debt just to keep up with the Joneses or working themselves into the ground for a bonus that barely makes a dent in their dissatisfaction. She's focused on what really matters: her well-being, her passions, and the joy that comes from living life on her own terms. She gets that material success might look impressive on paper, but it often comes with a hefty price tag: stress, burnout, and a gnawing sense that something's missing. Instead of chasing after the next big thing, she invests her time and energy in experiences that actually enrich her life. Happiness isn't found in a shopping spree or a corner office. It's found in quiet moments, meaningful relationships, and the freedom to pursue what truly lights her up. So while everyone else is caught in the rat race, she's off to the side, enjoying the view and living proof that the best things in life aren't things at all. Number 10. Drama and gossip. Drama and gossip? A Sigma female looks at those like they're the latest trend in a bad fashion show, completely unnecessary and utterly unattractive. She's not here for the high school theatrics, the whisper campaigns, or the sensationalized stories that serve no real purpose. While some people thrive on stirring the pot, spreading rumors, or getting entangled in petty disputes, she sees it as nothing more than a waste of time and energy. For her, engaging in drama is like willingly stepping into a hamster wheel, exhausting and pointless. She's got better things to do, like pursuing her passions or building meaningful connections. The endless cycle of gossip and conflict doesn't just seem trivial, it's downright exhausting. She's too busy focusing on her own growth and happiness to bother with the latest scandal, or who said what about whom. Drama is simply not on her agenda, and she's perfectly content living in a world where the most exciting thing happening is her next personal achievement, not the latest juicy tidbit from the rumor mill. As we wrap up our deep dive into the quirks of Sigma females, one thing is crystal clear: their perspective on life is anything but ordinary. From their indifference to the chaos of gossip, to their refusal to chase after superficial success, they offer a refreshingly authentic approach to living. Sigma females remind us that true contentment comes from within, not from the endless pursuit of validation or material gains. So next time you encounter a Sigma female, remember that her unique outlook is her superpower: unapologetic, unfiltered, and incredibly insightful. Embrace these lessons and maybe, just maybe, you'll find a new way to see the world that's both liberating and inspiring. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the Sigma mindset. If you enjoyed exploring these fascinating traits, hit subscribe and stick around for more thought-provoking content. Until next time, stay true to yourself and keep challenging the status quo. Bye.